Welcome back to another episode of Design Cafe by Jag. In this week's episode, we're going to be going over my living space, and I am going to be giving you some tips, some tricks on how you can redo your space on a budget and how you can have your space looking as luxurious, as welcoming as this space does. So guys, come on, let's talk design. Hi guys, I'm excited to show you guys my new refresh space. Yes, I refreshed my space. I did it before, but I was not happy with it. And when I'm not happy with something, I have to bite the bullet. And I bite the bullet, and now I have a space that I am pleased with. So let's get into today's video. In today's video, I am going to be showing you how I style the space, why I chose what I chose, and how the space is now feeling because I did that, okay? And hopefully you guys will be able to learn something from some of the things that I'm about to show you, and you guys will be able to implement these things into your space. Okay guys, first we're gonna start with my console behind me. You guys, if you guys don't follow me on my other channel, JAGbyDesign, go ahead and follow me on that channel, because on that channel you've heard me say several times that I did not like how this console was styled. Okay, so I went ahead and I restyled it. But guys, guess what I did? Remember, all of this is going to be on a budget. Yes, there are some new pieces that I am excited to show you, but the majority of everything that you're going to see, I shopped my home. First, let's talk about my console, and let's talk about this side of the console. So on this side of the console, what I decided to do was I decided to elevate it a little bit more compared to what it had. There was a bowl here that had some flowers in it. I don't know what I was thinking about, but they were here, right? So I had this vase. This is like one of my favorite vase in my collection, and every time I am designing anything, I'm feeling like, nah, this ain't working, that's not working, I run for this vase, and it always makes it work. So this was styled in my bedroom. I did restyle the bedroom, so I removed this from the bedroom and I decided to put it right here because to me it is a statement piece. And I want you guys to remember from my video, the trends for 2025 is sculptural pieces is also part of the trend. Now this piece looks black, but in reality it has a hint of brown in it. Okay, so what I did with this piece is you're gonna see when I show you the other side of the console why I decided to go with a big piece here. More, it's flat but it's tall, right? And you have to have that height dimension going on. So when I put this piece here by itself, it needed company, right? Some of us who don't like to be alone can understand that. So what I did, I didn't want to put any florals in this because I didn't want anything distracting the TV and distracting the cool openness that's going on. And one thing I want you guys to remember, that we're going into spring. Spring is all about opening up, feeling fresh, feeling new, opening up your space, versus winter is all about you want to make the space feel more cozy, more warm, more closed in, right? But now we're opening up, and you're gonna see, because of my color choices, how I opened up my space. So I had these beads. I got these beads from Kirtland's. I've probably had them over 3 years now, and they do have like a distress on them. I think that really played off really well. And then I have these two book holders. These are actually book holders that I put together and made it look like it was one big marble piece, and it has this texture on it. And then I just took this knot. I do have a white one, but to me the black looked better because it was more like, what's that going on over there type of thing, and that interest it was given. Okay, so that's how I decided to style here. I'm creating different visual interest on this console because the console is so big. Okay, now let's move on over to the center of the console. So here at the center of the console, remember I told you 2025 is all about sculpture. So I started to pull out all of my little sculpture pieces that I had. So I have this beauty right here. I bought this years ago from Home Goods, right? So it's like a man and a woman hugging type of a sculpture. It's very interesting look. And because I'm using some golds in my space, more like the bronzy gold, I'm using or soft golds. I'm mixing metals in my space this year. So I decided to add this gold ball with it, which is just, to me, it just set it off. Without it, it was just like, oh, nice sculpture. But when I placed this here, it really softened the whole look and it added some more interest to it, because you're wondering to yourself, are these one item or are they two separate items? And then I went ahead and I placed a book here. Now you have to be very strategic when you're placing your books, because like this, I didn't want the books to compete with what's going on here. The book on the bottom is colored, right? It has this caramel type brown colors going on with it, but the top one is more of a cream color. So I made sure I put that on the top versus putting the other one on top. It would have compete and throw this whole thing off. I want you to imagine that. If this color was on top here, it wouldn't have made this look as nice and soft as it does. And then to just flanker everything, make everything look like it's one thing going on, I went ahead and I added these candlesticks, right? I got these from Target weeks ago. They were like $8 a piece. And as you can see, they are brown. And instead of putting white candlesticks in them to bring in all the black or the darker colors I have going on each side of this console, I went with dark color candlesticks. Just imagine if these were white. They will not speak the same at all. So you saw the trick I used there on the eye by using dark color candlesticks. Now let's move on to the other end of this console. Okay, so on this end of the console, I have my lamp. So you see the lamp has height. Now you understand why I went with the height over on that side, because I needed to create a balance. Your eyes need to see a balance, right? And typically I like to go high, low, high, low. In this styling, I went high, 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 but then with each piece, I added the low. And as you can see, I tried to use like 3 pieces together or 4 pieces together. I didn't leave a piece by itself. So not because you have a lamp means that you can't style other elements with the lamp. So what I did is I wanted to bring in some greenery in here. I did have a black pot here before, but it was too high and it was just not looking right. So I went ahead and I brought this textured one in that looks like stone, and it has like some black speckles in it, and then we have the green moss going on here on the side, and then to bring in some gold over here, because over here was looking kind of I want a ring on my finger too. I added this piece, and I got this from West Elm. I want to say about 4 years, probably more than 4 years ago. I got this vase, this jar from, yeah. And what I wanted, when I had it there, it was still looking a little bit kind of empty. So I wanted to add, and you're gonna see why I use this branch in here, because it's kind of sporadic. Okay, and then what I decided to do is I added this marble chain. This used to be 3 and it dropped and one broke when I was moving. So, and as you can see, this has the details of gold in it. So I went ahead and I just added that here just to create a little bit more interest happening right here. So that is how I decided to style my console, and I am truly loving it. And of course, on this wall, you know, I have my candlesticks on each side, and I decide to keep those there. Those probably will always be there in these designs. Every time I redo my space, I'm probably not going to ever move those. I got those years ago, probably 5-6 years ago from Z Gallery, and I have put them in about 2 of my projects. I love them. Okay, I love that they're not gold, they're not silver, they're in between, so they can work with whatever styling I am actually going with. Okay, next let's move on to the styling of my coffee table. Okay guys, so here on my coffee table, the styling is basically the same as I had it before, but what I did this time is I added the same stem that I have on my console. I add a stem right here. Okay, so that's basically it. That's all I really did with the coffee table. And then I decided to move my cocktail table over on this side because I find like I pull for it a lot more than I used to. So that is it. I have my hurricane here with my candles that I typically have them lit. Let's turn them on. I forgot to turn them on. Right? So I have these here for when I want to set the mood in my space. I have my book here, which is open up, and I have a black jar there, right? On top of a book. So that's how I styled my coffee table, and I think it turned out pretty nice. Okay guys, let's move on to, let's stay on this side of the room and let's try to finish up what's going on over here and how I decided to style it. So as you guys can see, I moved my 2 ottomans that I had over on that side, and I moved them over here. Now I had a choice to buy the lounge chair to put over here or move these over here. I chose to move them over here because the lounge chair would just have seemed too big. It would have seemed like I have too many big pieces of furniture. We're going to talk about that after I'm finished showing you the space. So I decided to move these ottomans over here versus over on that side. Since the dining chairs were there, it was just seeming too busy. And what I loved about moving them here is there's no back. So it allows my drapery to just be my drapery on their own. They look gorgeous. Okay, and I'm gonna go over the draperies with you in a minute. But I decided to put them here. I decided to take this brown piece, this brown throw, and put it over the 2 of them. I had it separated at one point, and then I was like, no, it looks more cozy this way, so I might just keep it like this. Okay, next guys, let's talk about this corner right here that I am totally in love with. Guys, here is my little jungle in my living room. When I tell you, I am in love, totally in love with this little corner. I sit in my sofa and I stare at this little corner. I love my plants. These are real plants, okay? I have tried the fake one and I couldn't live with it. You guys know when I had my house, I had a real one in there. And I was like, I'm gonna try it again. And now, in this corner, I have these 2. First one I purchased, this was the first one I purchased, and then I purchased this one. Now I got these from IKEA. Yes, IKEA sells real plant for those of you who don't know. And they had a way better selection of this plant because this is the exact plant that I wanted. They look like banana leaves almost. I don't remember the name of this plant, but I wanted this exact plant, and I wanted this plant, but Home Depot didn't have good selections of it. But IKEA had beautiful selections for me to select from. They had multiple ones. So I went back to IKEA when I was ready to purchase the second one because I wanted to see how my hands would have done with this first one. Okay, then what I went ahead and did is I got these, the planters. I got the planters from At Home. So this one is the first one that I purchased, and then I purchased this black one. When I purchased the black one, I couldn't find this one. They didn't have them anymore, and it was only a matter of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think, since I had purchased this one. They didn't have any more, but they did have this black one. I wanted something that had texture. Now when I purchased it, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna spray paint it the color of this one. But when I brought it into the house, I was like, well, wait a minute now. I don't need to spray paint it. I think it looks amazing. And then to top it all off, I gave each one of them their own uplighting. So I did some uplighting in the nighttime. In here is so pretty with this uplighting in the plants. Now these are rechargeable plant lights, or I think they're exterior lights as well. But what I did is I have them plugged in, so they're continuously being charged versus in me having to remember to go and put them on. They're right next to a plug, so I just went ahead and I plugged them in. Okay? If you didn't think on that, maybe you should. Go ahead and plug it in. If it's near to a plug, just plug it in, or get a longer USB cord and plug in your lights so that your lights will stay plugged in. Those lights, I definitely did get them from Amazon, and they are in my Amazon storefront. For those of you who don't know, yes, I do have an Amazon storefront. And if you want to purchase anything that you see in my home that I did get from Amazon, it will be my Amazon storefront. So definitely go check it out and use the link. Click on it from in my storefront. Okay, I do earn a commission when you do that. Now let's move into the curtains that you're seeing behind of me. Yes, I increased the width of my curtains on this wall. When I first moved in here, my son, he moves quick, and he had already went and he installed the rods, and they were too close. But I was like, you know what, I can just extend the rods a little bit and I'll be able to make it look like it extends. That did not work out. And every time I put curtains up there, I would like it when I just put it up, but then as days will pass, I would not like it. So guys, here is the trick, right? I have 4 of these panels up here, and I also have 4 of my shears. I also have it on a gold double rod. So the rod is a gold double rod, and you guys know that you do not put your shears and your decorative curtains on the same rod. Okay? Get a double rod. That's how you're supposed to hang your curtains, right? So what I did is I extended it. So the door actually ends right here. So I came off about 15 inches on each side. Now, if I want, this rod is so long, I can open it rod from wall to wall and extend it from wall to wall. So anytime I feel like I want to do that, I can do that, right? I would say I would purchase a whole nother pack of these to do that, so it'll always look like really full. You always want your curtains to look pretty full at all times as well. So that is what I did here. I did change out the black rods, and I did decide to add in a bronze rod instead. So we have a bronze rod going on, and then we have our curtains going on. I could have gone with some cream curtains, but I was getting tired and wanting to break up some of the whiteness in this space. The space is pretty, it's like elongated, and you can see from space to space. There's nothing really breaking up all that white. So I needed to break it up, right? I needed the space to look different. There was a day where we was just putting a lot of white on white monotone together. But now in design, we're adding color to our space, but we're adding the color in neutral tones. So hence, my neutral tone draperies that I have up. These are pinch pleat velvet draperies that I got from Amazon, And yes, they are in my Amazon storefront. Now guys, let's move on to the jewel of my space. Guys, here is the jewel of my space. This is this area that is making this whole space come together. You guys know about this wall. I've spoke about this wall over and over. It is apartment friendly. I do have a video on how I put this wall together on my other channel, JAGbyDesign. So you can go over there, see how I put this wall together. It is apartment friendly. When I'm ready to take it down, you're not gonna see a whole heap of damage on the wall. Okay, so let's move on. We got a new sofa. Now this sofa looks a lot like the sofa I had previously. The difference with this sofa, it is lower, which I needed. The other one was way too high, and it is deeper. It sits way deeper. I love this sofa. Like, I love this sofa. So how I went about to style it. I went about, typically I do not use the pillows that comes with the sofas. But in this case, it felt necessary, or it felt that it would not look cheap. Because to me, it looks cheap when you do that. Now I can change the insert, and I'm thinking later on I will change the inserts to where I'll be able to chop them when I want to have the 3 pillows here. But for right now, I'm gonna leave them like that. So one of the tricks that I did do here is I downsized the size of my accent pillows. Typically, I would have like a 22 is what I would use in my living room. This is a 20. These both, they are 20s, okay? This one is adding some drama into the space with the print on it. I did get these from H&M Home about 4 years ago, okay? And then I got these from Amazon. So this has like a ripple effect, as you will see on it. And I just thought, and the color and everything is pulling from my wall down into my chair. That is what's making this feel very soft. Okay, I'm using very soft colors, but I'm still able to add a little bit of black. But everything around the black is softening the black up, because black can be a very harsh color. Okay, so then we know my artwork that has the softness. This artwork is what set off the colorway in my mind months ago when I bought it for my entire space. I wanted my space to feel like this artwork, and I have finally accomplished that. The artwork is very simple, but it has some nice color, just a little bit of color going on in it. And that is, I took that theme and I'm using that theme in my space. And then the last thing that I did is I decided to just put this throw here. I got this throw from Target about 2 years ago, or probably more than 2 years ago. But I just put this throw over here on this side. Even though I sit over on that side more, but I didn't want this to be disturbed, so I went ahead and I put it here. I love that I put it here because there's a table on the other side. Let's talk about this table that I have on my other side. Okay, so I kept my table over here. I could have put it on the other side, but I decided to leave it here on this side because, again, I sit here a lot. So I can put my drink on the table and so forth. So I wanted to keep this style very minimal because I do set my drinks on there. I have my books that I read here. And then I have this box that holds all of my different remotes and stuff. And the box in itself, why I chose to use this box is for 2 reasons. Because of the colorway in it, it works with my space, and because it's small, okay? So that is why I decided to use this. Again, I shopped my home for all of this. The lamp is not new. The table is new, that I purchased probably over a month plus ago from Home Goods. Now, let's move on to the piece that I went searching for another piece and found this jewel right here. If you guys follow me over on my other channel, you would know that I went to about 5 or so different home goods looking for a particular lamp that I found in one home goods, but it was damaged. So when I went searching, I made sure I went to the home goods that would have the nice stuff. I know the home goods that would have the nice stuff, okay? So I went to all of those. When I went to the one in Buckhead, I came around the corner and I saw 2 of these beauties sitting there. And I just gasped and fell back. Because this is what I was like, the other one would have been cute, but this is her, this is she, this is it. This is the piece of jewel that I was searching for. When I tell you, I love this lamp. Now, it was a splurge, but I love this lamp. I just love it. It is heavy. The base is wood, and I love that the shade has like a textured linen going on with it. I love this lamp. It carries 2 lights, and when I turn these on at night, the first night that I had brought it home, the lights stayed on because they had looked so pretty over here in this corner. So I got this light, and I decided to not put a table on this side because I didn't want the space to feel too symmetrical. I like to do an asymmetrical design because it gives more interest in your space. So if you have not ever thought about that, think about that. Sometimes when you want to add drama and interest to a space, you do not want to do a symmetrical design. Try to go more with an asymmetrical design, and it would add more interest and drama into your space. Now, to make all of this work, make all of this be anchored and so forth, I just had to replace my rug. So let's look at the rug that I decided to go with. So this is the rug that I decided to go with. As you can see, the rug has color blotching in it, and the color that you're seeing here is not, it's a warm gray brown color. So it has tones of gray in it, it has tones of brown in it, and it's not just one solid white color. Now this rug, I can't link it because I got it from my outlet, my rug outlet store that I typically go to when I'm purchasing rug. I did order a rug. It did not turn out right, and that's why I like to go there, see, touch, and feel my rugs. Now this rug set it off for me. As you can see, this rug, this entire space feels so interesting. Okay, it just makes everything feel so light and airy, right? And remember, we're going into spring, and that is the feel that you want in your space. You want your spaces to feel very airy, very open, and very much so alive. So that is why I chose this rug. I was looking at so many rugs. I was actually looking for a rug for my client. And when I saw this rug, I said, okay, now it's time for me to look for a rug for myself. When I saw this rug, I say, this is it. I had chosen a whole completely different rug. But when I just happened to keep looking at this one, I said, this is it. When you know it's the piece, you're gonna know it's the piece. When you see it, you're gonna know that this is the piece that is going to set everything off in my space. No other rug could have done this, what this rug is doing. And I wish that you could see this entire thing in person, the way my eyes travel from the floor up into my console. The feeling that it gives me is so, so amazing. Let's talk about the dining room. So here is the changes that I made in this kitchenette area. people would say dining room, but it's not truly a dining room. It's a kitchenette, right? So over here, I have these chairs from TOV is where these chairs came from, but I bought them through Wayfair, so I can link them in the description for you. I have a really simple with my fruit bowl that I made. It is on the JAGbyDesign channel, probably on the DIYs. So I actually made that bowl myself because I saw one that I love and I was like, I'm not paying $700 for that. So I went searching and I made my own. And then of course we have this really huge mirror on the wall with a picture light. But guys, did you notice that I put my white jar over in this corner and I added my yellow stems that I got from Hobby Lobby about 5 years ago. I got these stems from Hobby Lobby. So I put that in the corner with the stand. It looks beautiful because it used to be over where the lamp was. And to change up your space, make your space feel new and brand new again, you can move your pieces around. Let your spaces share your pieces, right? Don't put something in one space and feel like that's where it belongs. You can't move it anywhere else. Move around your pieces so that you can make your space work for you. Also, what I decided to do is I added these pillows. These pillows actually came with my sofa. So I decided they're so small, they're probably like 18 inches. So I decided to go ahead, or 15 inches. I decided to go ahead and put them here. So it's this one and then it's that brown one over there. I decided to go ahead and put them here just to give a little bit more of an interest here at the table, right? So I think that looked really cute. And I have my room air freshener here that I keep on this table so that it will be more centered, and when it's on, it will, you know, it will be an even distribution of the fragrance throughout the space. Okay guys, that is how I redid my space. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay guys, so let's talk about why I chose some of the pieces that I chose. Now, I have a very small space, right? From wall to wall here, I think it's like 138 inches if I'm not mistaken, or 36 inches. So my space is not that big of a space. However, I made sure to not add too many furniture pieces, and I made sure when I added a furniture piece that it made a statement. So as you can see, my coffee table is pretty large, okay? But then I add a cocktail table to it that wasn't as, it's very small, it's a smaller piece, but it has a lot of interest. It has the full marble looking top, it has the gold going on, and then it has a travertine looking concrete base. So it added interest to my coffee table. Then you saw me add this lamp. I wanted a big, huge lamp because visually that big lamp is going to take up more space than it's really taking up, right? So you don't want to add anything over there with it. You don't want anything else competing with that lamp. And what also helped is me extending my drapery. Before the lamp was here before the drapery was extended, and my mind was telling me I feel like I needed to put something back in that corner. The corner was looking empty. But when I extended the drapery basically filled up that space and made like I didn't feel like I needed anything anymore, right? So you have to play around with visuals when you are adding pieces. And then my sofa. I saw these chairs in HomeGoods that I was in love with and I really wanted them. But when I came home in my space, I knew that in here was starting to look too claustrophobic, too many things going on. I knew that the first sofa that I had was not going to work because it wasn't deep enough and it was high and it sit very uncomfortable. So I went ahead and I bite the bullet and I went ahead and got the chair that I always wanted. That one was like a dupe for this one, but that one could not compare, okay? It looks very similar to this, but this one is pretty deep. I can lay in this, cuddle up in it. That's what I love. Cuddling up, watching TV in my chair versus being in the room. So again, using big pieces in your space, like this wall, this is like considered a big piece of art I have here in this wall. That's another big piece, right? Bringing in that visual interest into the space. And then of course over in the dining room, me putting that big jar with those big stems in there, it created another visual interest over there in that corner, along with the big mirror, right? So even though you have a small space, that does not mean that you have to have small pieces of furniture. Your furniture pieces can be big, but they must be minimal. I'm gonna repeat that. You can have big furniture pieces, but they must be minimal. And once you go with a big piece, you have to remember scale. So when you're adding anything else to that space, the scale of that new piece must be right. So you're gonna use bigger pieces, but less pieces to create that visual interest and have your space feeling bigger than it really is. Okay, so that's it guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned some tips and some tricks on how you can make your space feel as beautiful as my space makes me feel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to share the video with others. And don't forget to go over on JAGbyDesign and see what I got going on over there as well. I will see you guys on my next upload. And remember, don't allow your budget to dictate your design.
Always remember, never let your budget dictate your style, but create a space that you love. Design for life.